Hey guys, it's Caroline. Welcome back to my channel. Today we are talking about simple resolutions that you can implement for 2019. Now I already made a part 1 of this video that I'll leave a link to below, and that is where I talk about some fun, simple resolutions that you can implement. Now this video is going to focus more on some productivity, self-improvement, finance, that type of thing, and these are just some really simple resolutions. If you already have your resolutions, that's totally okay. You can consider adding one of these onto the resolutions you already have because they are so basic that it's really not that much work to implement them, but I think they would greatly improve your life. Now, if you don't have any resolutions yet, you can consider doing one of these because they are so simple and they really don't take that much work. You don't have to worry about being overwhelmed by them. So with that being said, let's get right into the simple productivity, finance, and self-improvement hacks that you can implement for 2019. The first one is to make your bed every morning. Now I know that you've probably heard this one before, but if you aren't already doing it, making your bed every morning is a great simple resolution that you can implement that really just sets your day off on the right foot, and it helps you to feel like you've accomplished something right when you wake up and really just puts you on the right track for the rest of the day. The next one is to add one thing to your cleaning routine. Now, what do I mean by add one thing to your cleaning routine? Well, if you already have a cleaning routine, there's probably one thing that you consistently don't do or kind of leave behind because maybe it's a bit more annoying or you just don't really get around to it. I know for me, that's cleaning the shower. I'm pretty good at cleaning everything else, but for some reason, every time I go through my weekly cleaning routine, I just tend to kind of forget about the shower. So if that's you, maybe all you really need to do is be aware that that is that one thing that you consistently do not clean. Make sure that you add that one thing to your cleaning routine and actively make an effort to clean it next time you clean and make that a part of your routine. Another simple cleaning hack that I heard of that I thought would be a great thing to implement is to wipe down your bathroom counters every single night before you go to bed. I know that often countertops tend to get dirty a lot quicker than everything else, so by simply wiping down everything before you go to bed, it is a great way to keep your space looking clean and tidy for the next morning. That would be a great simple resolution to implement as it's super easy to just wipe down your countertops, but I think it would greatly improve your space because then when you wake up in the morning, your space is nice and clean and fresh, and it feels like your home is nice and organized first thing in the morning when you get up for the day. Now the next one may be a bit more challenging depending on how you spend your time, but it is to limit the amount of time you spend on time-wasting activities. Now this is different for everyone, but for you it may be Netflix, it may be checking your email all the time, it may be social media, but whatever it is, simply limiting the amount of time you spend on that activity. Now it can sound kind of overwhelming because you're thinking, oh my goodness, like how am I supposed to limit the time I spend on these activities that take up all my time? It doesn't have to be this huge limitation where all of a sudden you went from watching 5 hours of Netflix a day to nothing at all. Now of course you want to slowly work your way down so that it is gradual and it is actually maintainable. So I would say if you're watching Netflix for 3 hours a day right now, maybe try limiting it to 1 or 2 and to slowly work your way down. Now you want to limit these activities enough that you'll have enough time to spend on other activities that will really improve your life and help you to be more productive. However, you do want it to be something that you can maintain in the long run. If you know that these activities bring you joy and bring you relaxation, of course you don't need to cut them out altogether, you just need to limit them to something that is more reasonable. And for things like social media and for email, you could limit them by maybe only checking them at certain times throughout the day. Maybe check them every 3 hours or maybe even every 6 hours, whatever it is, something that limits the amount of time that you are intaking it, but where you still get to have it be a part of your life if that is something that you enjoy or if that is something that is a necessary part of your everyday life. The next one is to read a certain number of books this year. Now, of course, the number can look different for everyone. If you're someone who doesn't read at all, maybe your goal is to just read 1 book this year. And that is a great accomplishment if you don't read at all, to read 1 book this year. Maybe last year you read 20 books, and this year you want to read 25 or 30 books. Whatever it is, make sure it is actually realistic and attainable for you. Now, alternatively, your goal could be to read that 1 book that you've been meaning to read for a while, but you just haven't gotten around to. I don't know about you, but I often have books that sit on my shelf for a while that for some reason I just never pick up, and I want to read them, but for some reason other books just keep getting to the top of my list. If you have a book like that, make it your goal to read that book this year. Now the next few are simple financial resolutions, and I didn't want to go too deep into finance because we could really do a whole nother video just on financial resolutions, but these are just a few ideas that I thought were simple and hopefully unique to you. And the first one is to simply limit one area of your budget that you know is the biggest struggle for you. And of course, this would make the most sense if you have an area of your budget that you know you frequently tend to overspend. Now, for some people, maybe this is going out to eat and you know you just spend way too much money on going out to eat. Maybe it's spending too much on entertainment or spending too much on shopping. Whatever it is, if you have an area in your budget that you know you just frequently overspend, then that is one area that you could limit. Now, that could either mean using only cash for that budget, having a weekly or monthly cash budget for that category, or it could simply mean giving yourself a dollar amount that you're going to limit it to and really firmly sticking to that dollar amount. The next one is to find better deals on the products you already buy. I don't know about you, but for the products that I regularly buy, I always buy them at the same place, and I never really think about going to other places to see if I can get them cheaper. And I know recently I've found some items that I was recently buying in the store that I found that I could get online for much cheaper. So for those products that you regularly buy, consider checking out a different way of purchasing them. Maybe that means just checking out a different store to see if you can get a better deal, being aware of the different sales that are in your area, or maybe checking to see if you can get it cheaper online. Okay guys, so that's everything for part 2 of my simple resolutions. I hope that these inspired you. I know they were super basic, but hopefully 1 or 2 of these are something that you'd like to implement and that you'll hopefully see a benefit from in your life. So keep a lookout for my part 3 that I'm going to be uploading soon, and that is going to be focused on some health resolution hacks, and I'm excited to share those with you guys. So I will see you in the next video.